Welcome to the DeFi Standard, and this is Mickey B. Fresh. And today's video, RippleX DeFi app platform. We got new information from a couple job descriptions and an article from Daily HODL. And then also SBI's in talks over two new crypto joint ventures. So we have some quotes from Yoshi Katao on that. So first, let's start off here with this RippleX DeFi app platform. Now, to build on what we talked about in the last video about how Ripple has been really focused on institutional use cases with RippleNet and enterprises, but we also have to separate the XRP Ledger from RippleNet. Now, RippleNet does utilize the XRP Ledger with HODL, but RippleX is the development and investment arm of Ripple. So here we have a little quote from the Daily HODL, and they're looking for, RippleX is looking for a senior product manager for decentralized finance who will spearhead initiatives to improve and create new products within the RippleX platform for DeFi. Now, it doesn't really get any more retail facing than DeFi. So it is really important to note here that RippleX is building infrastructure and applications and tools and different developer libraries for these DeFi applications. They're basically building a whole DeFi platform on top of the XRP Ledger, and then will also integrate with the Flare network, because the Flare network offers two unique capabilities that the XRP Ledger doesn't have, but applications can utilize. That's the Ethereum virtual machine with the smart contracts that the Flare network has, and also the Flare time series Oracle, which provides real-time price feeds for multiple assets, including XRP, Spark, and other F assets on the Flare network. Now, they're hiring a senior product manager for decentralized finance specifically. So we have it right here as the role describes: an experienced product manager to drive new and existing products within RippleX's platform for decentralized finance. And it also says development strategy and partnerships to expand the utility of the XRP Ledger community. Now, we're part of that community. Yes, we're not developers, but we would like to be users of the XRP we own. And now, once again, we're coming back to that point where XRP is meant to be used by multiple different market participants, banks, payment providers, but also by retail. This is a perfect example of what's being built in the future. So for many years, Ripple focused on RippleNet, building out that enterprise institutional payment network. And now RippleX is the developer side, but it's not just retail facing or applications for enterprises. It's also for central bank digital currencies that will build into the XRP Ledger. So what I think is so amazing about this is that they're building central bank digital currencies and enterprise grade applications and payment networks like RippleNet on top of the XRP Ledger that has its own governance, its own rule book. But then also simultaneously, we have now this DeFi platform being built on the XRP Ledger as well. And that's going to be geared to all different types of applications, like the Trustline app that we covered in a few videos earlier last week. And that's consumer facing. So they're building infrastructure that's going to allow for consumer facing applications. Now, DeFi is like the heart of consumer finance because you don't need any trust of any entity. Any user with a non-custodial wallet can interact directly with it. Now, it's not a product like they're going to be profiting from it, but it's very likely they're going to build decentralized infrastructure on Flare and also on the XRP Ledger. And that's what that stablecoin proposal from David Schwartz is all about. They're now been building for a year all this development through RippleX and their devs and fixing the node infrastructure on the ledger so that it's going to be capable to have that two-way bridge with the Flare network. And then it could utilize the Flare times use Oracle. It could utilize the smart contracts. And then there'll be this layer 2 application layer that will be able to use the XRP Ledger and use the Flare network. And that also means that those other F assets like FBTC, FLTC, and FDoge are going to be able to come over the XRP Ledger. So we're going to have one massive DeFi platform that's going to be superior to anything really else out there, because it's going to use the data provisioning of Flare, and it's going to use the liquidity and the FX exchange, decentralized exchange, that's already on the XRP Ledger and built into the protocol. So let's see what else the job description has. So we have actual details. This is a head of product for RippleX. That's who they will report to. Now, you will execute on a vision for financial use cases of the XRP Ledger that serve our core developer audience, including fungible tokens such as stablecoins or security tokens, asset exchanges, and lending. All the things we've been talking about here on this channel for the last couple weeks. So when they say DeFi and stablecoin, think decentralized stablecoin. So the F assets used as collateral to back this FUSD decentralized stablecoin, which is an evolution of David Schwartz's stablecoin proposal in the end of 2019. Now, in coming videos, we're going to do a deep dive into just stablecoins, from Tether to USDC, and into David Schwartz's stablecoin proposal later this week. But this is more hard evidence and facts that they're really focusing on the DeFi infrastructure, because this is the future. Eventually, we're going to converge that institutional RippleNet side, which is basically a institutional payment network for banks to build applications on, but it still utilizes the XRP Ledger. So HODL, yeah, it's in RippleNet and uses their proprietary software there, but it also utilizes the XRP Ledger for HODL. It's liquidity. So let's go over here to the final piece of the job description, which says, develop the future of finance with DeFi applications. Lead development of libraries and SDKs to interface with our server and APIs. So they're basically going all in on the DeFi infrastructure platform here, because they have the perfect setup with the data provisioning network and then the liquidity network. So this is going to be built for retail to directly interact with, and also for institutions to build their apps on, or enterprises, or fintechs, or payment providers, or just startups who are building just new DeFi applications. And all these DeFis are like Lego blocks, the different protocols, and they're all meant to work together. Now on Ethereum, they were kind of like a patchwork and a mishmash of putting things together, where what's being built here is being meticulously designed for the last year plus. I mean, Ripple acquired the Logos network and the whole engineering team to head up their DeFi division. So it's not like they've been sitting idle for the last year. They've been developing PayString, building on the Open Payments Coalition, and then building all this infrastructure behind the scenes so that when they do roll out the DeFi platform in the near future, it's going to have all that infrastructure ready to go and built to handle regulatory compliance and also app development right on it very easily. And then we have the PolySign side. Now, PolySign is institutional grade custody, but it's an end-to-end solution for custody. Think digital wallets. And we're going to finish up PolySign Part 2. I know it's been a week, but it's coming this week. I promise that, at least by the end of the week. So how does PolySign fit then in that? We'll cover that later. But they're definitely going to have a role in the whole custody side and the end-to-end authentication and authorization of users of these applications. So if Bank of America builds an application, if MoneyGram builds an application, and they're utilizing the XRP Ledger, then consumers use that. So you need the infrastructure. So we say, like, yes, Ripple's predominantly been focused on institutional enterprise, but that does not mean that XRP is not going to be used in other ways. And this is a perfect example of how XRP is going to have a multitude of use cases, and we are going to be able to use it in different ways than institutions use it, but it's for multiple market participants and stakeholders, because you need the liquidity of as many use cases as possible. So DeFi provides also liquidity. And then in the future, these two will converge. But in the meantime, we don't have regulatory clarity for all that. And crypto is still just getting to the mainstream. But once it does, DeFi, security tokens, lending is all going to swallow the traditional markets with tokenization. And then you integrate that into DeFi. And this is the next gen financial system and the internet of value. Remember what Ripple's vision is. The internet of value. Doesn't mean the internet of banks. So it's going to involve many stakeholders and market participants, including you. So let's move on now to some exciting news coming out of Japan. So SBI in talks over a joint venture to make crypto a core revenue stream. SBI's founder and CEO, Yoshi Kitaro, said his firm would turn the planned crypto venture into a core source of profitability. And we know SBI has many subsidiaries and hundreds of joint ventures that are focusing on crypto. And now with the new rule change there last year, they have regulatory certainty to launch all this. So let's go over here to some more of the article. And Yoshi Kitaro, when asked whether the business would become one of SBI's key earners, he also suggested he was considering a large-scale mergers and acquisitions. That's exciting. I wonder who they're looking to partner with on a large scale. And he says, quote, "To become number one in the world, our choice is buying a leading company or creating an alliance with major global companies. Our M&A strategy will not be something like taking a minority stakes in many companies." So he's looking to go big. Yoshi really sounds like he's ready to buy a leading company, or they're going to create an alliance. Like when they say major global scale, I'm thinking like Bakkt, Arisex, one of those big players, PayPal, just throwing those out there hypothetically. I'm not saying any of those are going to be, but that's the type of level we're looking at here on a scale. And now he also says some more details. He goes, institutional investors, mainly hedge funds, have recently started investing in cryptocurrencies. Not just institutional investors, but also Elon Musk has. And it sounds like Mr. Kitaro is very excited that Elon Musk has bought Bitcoin. And Kitaro said at least 2 deals were under discussion on establishing a joint venture business in cryptocurrencies, but he declined to elaborate on the possible partners. So now we got some information here. 2 deals are in the pipeline, at least he's working on, and they sound like they're going to be on a large scale. So we'll keep an eye out for this. It's very hard to speculate. We don't have much information to go on, but definitely interesting that SBI is moving further and further into the crypto sphere and building crypto systems and integrating their FX market with their security tokens association, which has almost 19 members now. So we do have to keep in mind that Yoshi's been very busy here, even though we haven't seen any large-scale launch of the use of XRP. But we have MoneyTap, we got SBI FX, we got SBI VC with the crypto exchange, which is also very tight secret. We have no APIs coming out of there or data. So he's getting ready to ramp up here, and I think we're all just waiting for that regulatory clarity for XRP. Once it gets out of that security designation, we're going to see a major ramp up from Ripple themselves too on promoting XRP. Like Tesla, MicroStrategy, they're all buying Bitcoin right now. But I'm sure Ripple and their other partners would love, and SBI would love to promote XRP because it could be utilized and held as a hedge, and you could actually use the asset instead of just holding it in a cold wallet. And that's something that I think we'll see coming, and the more of the push towards XRP, and yes, It's not going to be just for banks. They're going to use it, payment providers are going to use it, but it's also going to be used in other ways. And that's what makes XRP so valuable. The fact that it can be utilized by institutions and also utilized by retail. It's not just remove one and, oh, only institutions will use it then if it's only them. No, that's what gives it its value and its advantage, that it can't be controlled by any one entity. So that's why you want a diverse group of market participants, down to retail, financial inclusion, all the way up to the big major banks and investment banks and custodians using this, and then traditional market stock exchanges. Really, the next killer app is whoever could provide the ultimate crypto digital wallet that could have everything in there and then integrate with the applications. Now, that's dependent on how is the underlying public blockchain's infrastructure. Can you build on it? And some of these networks you just can't. Bitcoin is not really viable. Ethereum, with the high gas fees, you really can't build anything on it. It's not a viable business model to build on it. But XRP Ledger and Flare Network are absolutely perfect for that, for institutions, enterprises, to build retail-facing apps and corporate-facing apps for their customers. So yes, it'll be used in ODL, behind the scenes, back end, but it's not only going to be a back end asset. We see that right now with Flare coming out. Everyone got the airdrop for Spark, not just institutions. We all got it. And that means we're going to be able to use our XRP. They're giving us the ability to utilize our XRP. If the plan was to take XRP away or not have retail in, that would not have been done. And Ripple's funding Flare. They're a separate entity, but they're funding them. So it shows Ripple wants retail to utilize their XRP and spread it wider and get it into more hands as possible and as many stakeholders, so it's in a diverse group of market participants, and there's multitude of use cases, like Chris Larson said in the video that we showed yesterday, how for deep liquidity, you need a multitude of use cases. I'm Mickey B. Fresh, and I'm out.